Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, the podcast for all things Mecha. Jumpship incoming.
All right. Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio number 58. I am your host this week, Chopper, and with me always is Mr. Brian Novak. Say hi.
Hello.
And Mr. Rob Harper. Just be surly like you always are.
Not surly, I'm lovable.
So, here we are. Post-Adepticon. We are all tired, I'm assuming. I've been off now for a little bit, and I'm still exhausted.
Yeah. I wound up jumping right back into work like as soon as I got back, and it's been nonstop.
Yeah, it sucks.
Me too.
So, I was smart enough, I took 3 weeks off this time.
Wow.
That works because you have, is it C2E2 next?
No.
Little Wars.
Little Wars? Little Wars.
C2E2 ghosted me, so the plan was to have C2E2.
Oh,
But they didn't want him.
But they didn't want us. They ghosted me.
So it's Little Wars next, right?
Little Wars will be next, so that's in April. So, I guess we should just move on. I mean, there's a lot of small talk I'd like to talk about, but I want to save it for the MechBay Hanger.
Yeah. Obviously, the MechBay Hanger is going to be Adepticon. I think everybody can figure that one out.
So we're going to recap a lot of mech stuff this year at Adepticon that we should talk about. So, on that note, let's just move on. Let's move on to
ComStar.
Dropship.
Dropship. You
I
guys.
I remembered.
Eventually.
I was just assuming that none of us worked on anything.
I did. I'm a good boy.
I worked on a little.
There you go.
Dropship landing.
All right. Here we are at the Dropship. This is where we are talking about what we're working on. Probably not too much. I know I worked on very little, but I worked on some. But let's go ahead and start with you, Brian. What have you been working on? I'm sure it's been very minimal because Adepticon was all encompassing.
Yeah, it's been a whole lot of nothing.
Terrain
I did
for
a lot
Adepticon?
of Tycho Starport stuff. Built up a second table worth that I had at Adepticon. So that was really neat. Is that as part of that, I had talked to Corvus Games Terrain and Uncertain Scenery, and I had gotten kind of sponsored tables for them both. So we had their specific terrain set up with little goodies for people to pick up. And
I would just like to say this is a blatant plug for these people now that Brian is sponsored by them. So
yes, he snuck that in. We at Mobile Arm Radio received no.
Yeah, we don't get any kickbacks from this.
No, I just like that. It was really cool that they did that for us. So, but yeah, so that was pretty much the entirety of my.
There was
my
no
hobby.
no mech advantage here for that.
No mechanage. So, yeah, I had a whole lot of stuff going on for that, but yeah, nothing else hit my hobby table, and might not for a while as I recover. So
You just want to forget about miniature games right now for a while?
I think I need a little break just to spend time on other hobbies.
You went pretty ham, so it's understandable. So, all right, Rob, then what have you been working on?
For me, I definitely did a John Bear Ross from his Patreon. Did a Warhammer / Destroyed Tomahawk from Robotech or Macross, but he didn't 40K style kind of. So I started printing that, but I got really minimal. This is why I printed for it so far. There's little gun pods, so nothing major for that one yet. But I did do this.
I noticed John is not very fond of the gothic look that 40K does.
No, he definitely goes for because his next one he's going to do a Zaku for 40K. So it's the same kind of. I don't know. Do you know what that chassis is in 40K? I have no idea. Is it a knight?
I'd have to see it again.
But I think it's a knight, anyways. But he does all different versions, anyways, of these big guys. My other one's somewhere around here. But the other thing I did was, we'll talk about later, but at Adepticon I picked up a Mastodon from Cav. So here's the Mastodon. That's what he looks like.
Yeah, so it's one of the few that you were able to get before they sold out.
Yeah, he was the very last one because he was no longer in the box. But what I did was there's 3 variants of him. So what I did is I magnetized the hell of him. So you can take that off, and then he's got.
Yeah, it's a really good looking mech. I mean, I'm very jealous for the Terrans that they got a better looking mech than any of my guys.
This is Ritterlich, actually. These guys.
Is it Ritterlich?
Yep. And then there's the big gun. So there's all different versions. I did have to kind of change the side a bit for the magnet to be in there. Once you paint it up, you won't see it as much, but
it's a giant magnet you put in there.
And there's the top magnet. But yeah, it works great. Yeah, he's huge. Like, where's it? Here's a Battletech Mini compared to him. Look at he's huge. Like,
wow.
He's the biggest cav that they make. So, very last one at Adepticon, which is great. I also got a few tanks from them too. Put some together. These are Terran tanks. I'm pretty sure these are Terran tanks. So two in a pack. So I got some cav. So I'll have to paint those up and make a Ritterlich list. And that's it for me though. Like I said, I'm working slowly on that Warhammer / Destroyed. So that'll be fun. I can't wait to bake them. But it's a lot of printing. My printer might not be up to it. I might have to invest in a new printer. This one's getting pretty old now. I think the screen's got a few dead pixels. So
your photons already got deads.
Oh, photon.
Your Anycube, I mean, your 4K.
Oh my Anycubics have died many years ago. Anycubics suck. Don't buy an Anycubic, by the way, people.
Did it really? Because mine's still running strong.
No, my Max, its screen burned out pretty fast, and my other one I cracked the screen. That was my fault. And the screens are that wasn't even my regular mono is not a 4K, so it's hard to get the screen now. But the problem is with Anycubics, their screens are proprietary, got plugs, so you have to get adapters and stuff. Bastards. So next time, I'm not buying an Anycubic. So
yeah, and now that you tell me the proprietary,
well, you can, you just got to make sure you get the right cable, because otherwise,
when it goes, but I don't like to do that. When it goes down, then I'm done.
Well, especially since nowadays a new printer is like, I think the screen is like $70, and the new printer is like 120. So must buy a new printer. Like it's sadly it's become disposable. So the big boy though, the Mono X, I gotta try to figure out how to fix that. It's the screen lights up weird, so I don't know. It might
Did
be
you buy a Mono X?
Yeah, that's what you have, the Mono X.
Oh,
the big one is a Mono X.
I thought I had a 4K, so I have a Mono X. Sorry.
It's a 4K Mono X. That's what it is.
Okay.
But it's the screen's screwed up a bit. But it might be the cable, it might be the screen. And once again, the screen costs so much, you might as well save up and buy a new one. So.
Yeah.
I got a Voxelab Aquila 2.
I have a Voxlab Polaris. So that's my workhorse. So that was my first printer, my first resin printer, and it works great. It's just the screen. I've replaced the screen once, which was easy. But they don't make. I don't think they make screens for this anymore. It's one of their first Voxlabs, so I doubt I'd be able to get another screen. So, and the screen for that was like $50 too, so it was worth it. I think it was even less than that. I think it was 40.
Nice.
I love that machine, but it is getting old now. So it's probably 3 years old now, I guess. Yeah, I bought it. I think I bought it during the pandemic. So it is. The technology is much different now. It's like.
Well, I'll say my Ender is still running strong too, but it's just tiny.
Oh, I burned out my. Yeah, you have an Ender resin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an Ender 3 FDM, but I burned out the head on that thing. I worked that thing to death.
I don't think I'm gonna fix my Enders 3s anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna get rid of them. I don't know if I'm gonna ever do an FDM again.
Even if you do, the new ones have bed leveling built in and stuff like that, which makes it a lot easier. So, Brian, what do you have?
Oh, Voxelab.
That's the FDM one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have Voxlab.
I mean, it's when it's keyed in, it works great. Like, I printed so much scenery in the last couple of months, gearing up for Adepticon. So I was really happy because it has been it's had its moments in the past where it will just stop working, and nothing I do will change it. If
the what's it called, the filament gets a little humid or changes everything. It's like temperatures change or the room temperature changes. It's pretty finicky. FDMs resin are less finicky, but it's easier to break. There's a lot of ways you can break a resin, but it's
And
FDMs.
I don't have a good temperature controlled space that I could have a resin printer in right now.
Well, I think the temperature controlled. If you can have an FDM down there, you can definitely have a resin down there.
Resin doesn't.
I mean,
temperature doesn't matter as much for resin. Well, you don't want it to freeze, but yeah, it definitely.
But
yeah, you can also get those like covers and stuff that kind of insulate it. So I don't think basement. Pat does his in the basement. It's fine. It gets cold down in your basement, but
yeah,
it's all good. Anyways,
all right,
Pat, what have you done?
My turn. Yeah, obviously not too much. So I have been working on the John Bear Raw Scorpion mech that I printed up a while ago.
It's the one that's in your car. That's
wait.
Back
I was
window?
making great forest strides. I was going up to Lake Geneva to hang with my friend Duck, and we were painting. I was painting it. I was getting it all done, starting to get into the colors. Because right now it's just base color, and I was starting to do all the different highlights, the metals, and then it got destroyed in my car. It's now in pieces again.
Oh no!
So
you found all the pieces, though, right?
Yeah. So I took a step backwards, and I just got to glue it back together and repair all the chips.
How did you break it?
It was on the floor of my car. Well, I put it on the floor of my car so it wouldn't slide off the chair.
Right.
And then one day my wife borrowed my car to go to work because I had to take her car in.
Always blaming your wife.
And I think she threw her purse down there and crushed the Scorpion.
It's in your back window now. It's looks fine.
Yeah.
It's just missing his tail and most of his legs.
And the gun.
Pretty much everything.
So I took a couple steps forward with that thing and took kind of a step backwards with it at the same time. So
it's not the journey. It's not the end destination. It's the journey. So.
No, it's definitely not. But I definitely want to get that thing finished because I was really excited. It was getting painted. It was getting done. I was working some headways. I started painting the tank that I printed up to. Do you remember that big giant tank that John gave us?
Yeah, that's a beast.
I started painting that thing down. I think I might just go ahead and camouflage it up. It might be easier just to camouflage it up.
Do you have any stencils? I think I have
No, I do a lot of. I have camouflage paint, so I might do like a NATO.
No, I was thinking more of the what do they call it, the the urban camouflage, where it's all squares.
Oh no! If I do that, that's a little too much. I might just.
Well, that's right. I think I have a stencil for that. That's what I was wondering.
Oh, okay. I don't. And what else did I have gone mech?
You didn't do any more in your genre?
No, because as you know, and as Rob and Jack, who is part of the Dragon Zone podcast, they did a lot of the work helping me get my basement rearranged by dragging this behemoth of a desk downstairs.
It was not light.
Which is going to turn into my new hobby desk. So now that it's down in the basement, my goal is tomorrow sometime is to get down there and start transferring things from the table that I'm on now. Or pull the table that it's on now, try to move the desk into place, and then start transferring things over.
It'll be nice and solid, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, and then while I'm doing that, I'll also be cleaning up my area, which will be nice. Now I also have these drawers down my side, so I can start putting my in-progress paint things that I've gotten put to the weight side off the table, so I'm not taking any space.
That table, you sent me down there. I think you were gluing together trophies for Adepticon, actually. Yeah. And you sent me down there for a stir stick. And you're like, oh, it's just right next to it. I'm like, I looked down there and I was like, I can't see anything on this table. It's
I said it was next to the Q-tips.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't see Q-tips. It's all you see is miniatures everywhere. So
yeah, it's like
it was chaos.
Exploded.
Chaos.
It's an organized chaos that I know.
I don't even know how you have space to paint anything.
That's that you saw. It's right there. It's on that piece of white paper.
No, I couldn't see anything. It was just miniatures everywhere.
But that's it. Really, it was really just a Scorpion that took a good. That I was able to move forward with, and then took a step back.
Oh well.
Yeah, but that too, Adepticon was quite all encompassing. But I was able to get some little things done. So, all right. Well, I didn't think we'd have much to say in the dropship. let's move into the ComStar. I don't know if we'll have a lot to talk about the ComStar because I think we're going to save most of it for the MechBay Hanger.
Probably.
Oh, there's lots in ComStar. What are you talking about? There's lots going on.
All right, Rob's got lots, so
There's a lot.
And he's got the clacker.
so be prepared for him. All right, let's move on to the ComStar.
Message from ComStar.
Welcome to the ComStar. Here we talk about the TVs, the movies, books, RPGs, the video games, the books, the fire trucks, dynamite, all those things.
Dynamite explosion.
So, let's start with Rob, since he says there's a lot to talk about.
Well, the big thing, the big elephant in the room is that Battlestar Mercenaries Kickstarter. It's going nuts.
Battlestar?
Battlestar? Did I say? See, I got you. You got me thinking Battlestar.
You said Battlestar.
Battletech. See?
That was a crazy Kickstarter. I'm not gonna lie.
Pat wishes there was a Battlestar Kickstarter, but no, it's Battletech Kickstarter.
I'd be all over it.
Yeah, it's last I checked, it's almost to 5 million, so it's getting there.
Jesus.
In the first 24 hours, I think it reached what they did in the first Kickstarter, and it's just gone crazy. Mercenaries, it's for the new Mercenaries box set and a bunch of new mechs. It's crazy. It just shows how popular Battletech is. We'll get to that during Adepticon too, but it's exploded. So if you haven't,
it's funny that it did as crazy as it did, like even during Adepticon, when people are there buying, spending all sorts of money already.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that nuts, but it is. Another Kickstarter that's happening is the Lancer Tactics Kickstarter, which I think it might be over by the time this podcast comes out. It's right near the end anyways. They've done about 150,000, which is great for them because it's one person.
I don't know this one.
It's a video game based on Lancer.
Okay.
Lancer is a role-playing game that came out a couple of years ago now, I think. So this is a video tactics style video game. One person working on it. So 150,000, that's great for one person. They said that they could take full time to actually work on the game and do ports for all different systems, I think they said too. So that's cool.
Yeah, they're just shy of 170,000.
Yeah, nice.
With 25 hours left to go.
Did they reach the goal?
Oh yeah. Their goal was like 30,000 or something. It was pretty low.
Yeah. 20 or 30, yeah.
Because it's just like originally it was supposed to be just a small little game they're making, but now it's turned into a real game. So it's a real boy. Yeah, so it should be fun. I can't wait for that. I backed that one too because it looks fun.
Same.
I love tactics games. So another thing is that's speaking of video games, MechWarrior Online is rebranding to MechWarrior Legends because online, like every once in a while they'd have a new expansion, sort of a new season kind of, and they'd call it different things, but they decided that they're just going to go with Legends and make it kind of evergreen so they don't have to keep changing it. So it's Piranha Games. It's the same people make MechWarrior 5, but they do the online version. I'm not big about playing people online, so I've never really played it. I tried it out, but maybe now that I've played MechWarrior 5 a bit more, it's the exact same everything, I think, pretty much. So might go and try it a bit, but I guarantee that people are really good on that. They would just destroy me. So yeah, so that's interesting. As for myself personally, my Redline Battle for Neom Kickstarter came in, which I think was great. It was waiting for me after Adepticon. And I got all the minis with it. Pat, I think you talked about it last month.
I did. And I put it, because I got mine prior to.
You're in the United States, and you get it fast. But I checked on the minis. I think the minis are even better this time around. Like the quality, they're really good quality miniatures. Yeah. I forget Impact Miniatures does them, I think, for them. And yeah, good stuff. And
we didn't play any Redline when we were down here.
No, we never did. Yeah.
I had my box with me actually.
Never had Brian especially had no time. Like when if you weren't sleeping, you were running games. So
true.
And last for me, I also watched the Crusher Joe movie. I'm trying to watch all the movies that the Unseen from Battletech are based on. So Crusher Joe has the Locusts in it, and they're barely in it though. They're like in one's little scene, but it's a fun little movie from 1983. But it seems like it's much. It almost reminds me of Trigun or something like that, a bit more like that kind of style. So
right.
And like pretty dynamic, and yeah, like it was. I was impressed for 1983. It doesn't like it looked really good. It was a fun little romp. At one point, they party so much in a disco that the whole disco falls down. So yeah, it's they're kind of like mercenaries, or sort of. They do little missions. It's fun little movie. So if you haven't watched Crusher Joe, I think it's on YouTube for freeze. So, or did I watch it on YouTube? I think I watched it on YouTube. So there you go.
It's out there.
That's it for me. I don't think anything else. Nope, I don't think so. That's it for me for the ComStars.
Brian, are you reading any books or comics that you've read prior to all this?
Not really. Nothing's really crossed the plate. Just been busy with stuff. I think I mentioned this last time. I did start playing. I picked Xenogears back up from where I left off, and then I also decided to start on Horizon Forbidden West. So that's the Zero Dawn one where it's the giant robot dinosaurs, and you're running around shooting them with bows and stuff.
You may know it from the Ozzy Osbourne commercials that I keep seeing on TV. Have you seen those?
You may know it.
I
don't really watch TV.
Ozzy is doing commercials for Horizon Zero Dawn. I was like, what the? I don't know if I think it's for the what's the 3D glasses thing?
The Oculus.
Oculus, yeah, I think it's one of those. Anyways, I don't know if it's Oculus in particular.
Oh, you know what? I did see him. They had I think they had it on the Super Bowl commercial.
It's anyways, it's him watching Zero Dawn with the giant dinosaurs and stuff. So he's freaking out. He's yelling, "Sharon!" So there you go.
That's not her name. But apart from that, I think the only thing is to key in one thing you said earlier, Pat, about Dynamite, is that the Hobby Link Japan just posted a Macross 7, what is it, YF21 Excalibur, which is from Macross 7 along with little minis of the main characters and stuff. As I understand it, they're kind of pricey little mini, but it's always neat to see that series get some love. And one of their big songs is one called Dynamite Explosion.
There you go, Pat. You knew you were just going to talk about that.
I did.
And he says those words like at least 2 dozen times.
Does he sound like J.J. Walker?
Yeah. It's Dynamite.
Kind of like there is a cadence to them, to be sure.
That's what it's based on.
And but yeah, so otherwise not a whole lot happening on that front. So I'll throw it over to Pat.
Yeah, I don't have too much either, because I'm either painting. If I'm not painting, then I'm doing the ComStar still. I did make a post to something that was going to DVD from somewhere, and I can't remember what it was now.
Well, if you go onto our Facebook group, you will see those posts. I'm always posting random mech pictures too. There's tons of great.
But it was an anime. It was a.
Was it Mazinger?
Oh, it was Mazinger, not Mazinger Kaiser.
The guy right behind your head.
Yeah, no, Mazinger is not behind my head.
No.
Mazinger Kaiser is the other one, the secondary robot. But I forget which series of the Mazinger Kaiser is coming to DVD or Blu-ray.
Mazinger Kaiser versus Great General of Darkness.
Yes, that's.
I would assume it's not DVD, Pat. Is it on VHS?
No, it's on Blu-ray.
It's on Betamax. So
Beta, yeah, that's right.
I'm very excited for that because I don't know when the next time we'll get to use my Betamax player is.
Laserdisc.
So I do have a Laserdisc for my dad.
Nice. Do you have any
Laserdiscs? I do. It still works, but you can't sell those things. I tried to sell them. We'll see.
What movies do you have on Laserdisc?
Oh, they're all like old movies, like for my dad. They're like
nothing fun.
No, I think Clash of the Titans is one of mine.
That's nice.
With Harry Hamlin, not the remake.
Boobo.
There's like Sansa Iwo Jima, The Big Red One, a lot of World War II movies.
Nice. Laserdiscs. Fun.
What is that? Yeah, I can't remember. The Quiet Man.
You're cooler than the rest of us. You have a Laserdisc player.
Well, the thing is, I tried to look and see how much it was to sell. Even all the laser discs and the laser player that still works, I couldn't even get $150 for it.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought there's collectors out there.
You would think, but I don't see it.
It's weird.
I mean, so I'm gonna hold on to it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but
You're gonna watch those movies because it's cool.
yeah.
Because it's Laserdisc.
Laser.
I got a friend who's got a Blue Thunder.
I gotta get an adapter that goes from
Yeah, because it's
coax
probably.
to HDMI.
Is it coax or
Yeah.
is it
It's
RCA?
coax.
That's not even
It's
RCA.
coax.
Wow.
No, it's not even. It's coax.
I've never
Wow.
seen coax from a machine. Usually coax is just from the cable company. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Weird.
There's a couple of. There was a couple. I think Betamax was coax.
Makes sense. All the failed
So,
ones are coax. All the good ones.
VHS used to be coax too.
Only ones I remember are RCA, but also I was a little kid, so maybe they were coax and I didn't notice.
So
Just plug them in.
Coax. I hated coax, man. That was a pain in the ass.
yeah, coax sucks.
Trying to get the thing in without breaking it, and then try to screw it in while it's behind a wall somewhere. Yeah, no.
So
Although RCA is bad too, because you had to know the colors, because you don't want to
Yeah.
plug that the audio into the visual. It doesn't work right.
No, it doesn't go well.
so, but yeah, that's all I got.
Fancy.
Kaiser. Oh, you know what? I take that back. I did buy some books
Oh yeah, you bought
from Catalyst. I wasn't planning on buying any books because I have these books, but it's the Kerensky trilogy. But I bought these books because they had a special leather-bound cover, and Michael Stackpole had signed them.
yeah. You're like,
Oh,
oh, these are nice books, and then all of a sudden, what was it our friend
It was
Crazy A?
Andrew Crazy A said, "Hey, look, they're signed." And I went, "Nah, those are stamp signatures, not actual signatures." And then we opened like 4 or 5 books, and the signatures were all different. I'm like, "Oh, you friggin' a-hole!" Now I got to spend money
He
on
was
these
forced
books.
to buy them. That's a good segue into the next
Yeah.
section.
Yeah, so that being the end of my ComStar, let's roll it into the MechStar then, so we can really talk about
MechStar?
stuff.
See, I'm not the only crazy people that add star to things.
Because I like MechStar. MechStar sounds much more manly.
We have to
more-
rename the MechBay
MechStar
Hanger.
more
Hangbay.
MechStar
Hangbay.
Hangbay.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
So, all right, so let's move into the MechBay Hanger, then we can really talk about the meats.
The meats.
Yeah, the meats of the podcast.
Wow. Got the meat. Where's the beef?
Now entering the MechBay Hanger.
Welcome to the MechBay Hanger. This is today's topic. Normally we have a little roundabout discussion, but because Adepticon was just a couple days ago for us, and not too far from when this episode will drop. So we talk about what we saw because there was surprisingly a lot of mechs representing and mech games at Adepticon this year. So I feel like we just kind of roundtable and just kind of chit chat about what things we saw. I want to ask you, Brian, though, because you probably spent the least amount of time in the dealer room this
Pretty
weekend, and it's not your fault. I mean, I put you to work like a slave.
Pharaoh speaks.
Did you get a chance to walk around? Did you see any mech stuff that you thought was interesting?
Really briefly, I know you had that booth next to, was it Heavy Gear?
Yes.
Their stuff looked really cool. I know there was the big Battletech inflated thing out front that blew down at one point or something. When it got windy.
Yeah, there is. So if you have never been to Adepticon, Adepticon is probably one of the biggest miniature conventions in the States, if not the biggest. And Catalyst came with full guns blowing, and they put up a giant Irby mech. And
As
then,
you can see in the picture right here.
yes, that Rob's showing.
If you're not watching the video podcast, please come over to YouTube.
But what Catalyst might have forgotten is that every year at Adepticon, it storms, regardless of whether it either rains or snows, and it did both this year, and it had super high winds. So poor old Irby got himself knocked down by a PPC wind cannon.
He knocked down and didn't get back up again.
No,
Yeah.
so they had to put him down a day early.
Oh,
But,
you make it sound like they put him to sleep.
They did. Well, it's an Irby mech.
just like old Yeller.
He did not get to live all 4 days like he did at Gen Con.
But as far as like looking around the vendor hall, I did see like the Cav booth, and everything. Just kind of glanced through there. Really didn't spend much time at the Battletech one, just because there was always a line, and I was usually on my way to get food, which was next to that. So, but yeah, so yeah, I probably won't have a whole lot to contribute to this section, just because I was running tournaments most of the days, in some cases back to back. I did do the firefight tournament, and we saw some of the Mantix mechs take the field. A number of folks brought, I think mostly the Forge Fathers, the Juggernaut.
That's my personal Juggernaut right there.
Yeah,
because I bought one.
It's a really neat mech. But so that one I saw most of, and I did see at least one or two Striders.
No Spectres? Nobody had a Spectre?
No one had a Spectre.
Oh yeah, and actually, our buddy Nick, I think he brought 3 Spectres.
Jeez.
3 in one list?
To
Wow,
that's firefight.
Firefight.
Did anyone bring any stunt bots or?
Didn't see
no,
much
they're
for
the worst.
Stunt bots or grunt bots.
Because they're orange and nobody likes them.
My picture.
Not the horrible grunt bots. I'm talking about the really good stunt bots.
The stunt bots. No one really brought those that I can recall. But the big Veerman tunnelers, the big drill transport things, those were fun to see. And someone had one with the extended cab isn't the right word for it.
It's like double length.
He bought the coupler so you can put more than one together. That's pretty awesome.
And like when it took the field, it was like 2
it took
feet
over
long
the field
or something. It was a piece of terrain at that point. So that was pretty neat to see. Like the big highlight for me was the events that we got to run. We had a great player turnout for Mantix games. 26 people signed up for Armada with 24 players, and then Firefight had 16, and Dead Zone sold out at 20.
Nice.
So big showing for Mantic this year. And then at Kings of War, I think they were at 48 or 45 out of a possible 48.
We don't speak of them because they're fantasy.
I mean, yeah, but just wanted to showcase that, like, of the events that I was involved in, like the player turnout was awesome, and really great guys that came to play. So, but yeah, that's all I've really got to say as far as the event goes.
So, I guess then we could start at the Battletech booth, Rob. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I got lots of pictures.
I picked up books there. Yeah, I picked up the booth there. We had the Irby. Of course, they were running a live on the spot scene. Ow! Got something in my eye.
That's not what we're doing.
As the Kickstarter.
Yeah, they had all like studio set up with a game so they could show the game. Plus, on the big screen, they had the Kickstarter counting down and then the counting up as they got more and more money. So.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. They were selling some really cool plushes, and to our Mobile Armor Radio listeners, it was my goal to buy a plush on the very last day if they had any left.
Because he wanted to
and then I was going to auction it off.
Well, not auction. Not auction implies you have
to raffle it off.
Problem was,
all right, who wants to pay the most for this plush?
To our listeners as a gift, but problem was they sold out.
Yeah, they sold out pretty quick.
Yeah.
And they weren't cheap. Those things are pretty expensive.
Yeah, but it would have been fun to get a plush out to someone who couldn't go.
Kind of like what I was saying earlier. Like one of the Dead Zone players, kind of pulled me aside on the lunch break, and he's like, "Have you been watching the BattleTech Kickstarter?" And it was up to like 4 million.
Yeah,
already.
Like the first 48 hours.
The second day or something like that.
It finished at 3. The first day, and I think by the next day was at 4 million.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Well, good for them. It was a good Kickstarter.
They also had a huge showing of the tournaments. They took over a lot of the 40K section.
Yeah, they had a lot of good tournaments. I talked to a friend of mine who's one of the Nerd Herders from the Nerd Herder podcast, and he played in the Grinder event of Battletech, which was pretty fun. He said, if I ever not have to work at Adepticon, I might try to play the Grinder. It's $10, he said, but he played for 10 hours. He played 10 hours worth of Battletech.
Wow.
Even I love Battletech, and I couldn't play for 10 hours.
Well, the way it works, I think, is you start off in a little mech, and you putz around. You fight, and you get bonuses for killing other people. But when you die, you get a little thing that you can hang around your neck, and then you come back next turn in the next mech up, and so forth. So every time you die, you get a little, like, I was in this mech before I died. I was in this mech before I died. And so by the time he was done, he had like a string of things. And I think by the time he was done playing in 10 hours, he was like up in like an Atlas or something rocking around. So
yeah, it's fun.
Because he died so many times.
Yeah.
But
so the cool thing is that
yeah,
when you die, you get to go up, and so gives you a better chance of killing things, and you get trophies when you kill someone. So it seems like fun. I mean, Andy is not the kind of guy to waste time either. So if he's stuck playing a game for 10 hours, it must have been captivating.
We had a lot of friends who tried out the I forget what they called it, the boot camp. So it was pretty much demos, but they did a little boot camp where you got to play a bit, and they ended up buying Alpha Strike after that. So it must have been pretty popular. So a lot of people we knew that weren't into mechs all of a sudden bought Alpha Strike this weekend.
Yes. So. Martin for one.
Yep, and the New York crew, there's Family Gamer 777 on YouTube if you want to check them out. They're talking about doing stuff on their channel about Battletech, so
that'd be neat.
Yeah, so hopefully they do really good battle reports, so it'll be fun to see.
Mm-hmm.
And very popular. Like Battletech, like I say, they took over a huge area of 40K's area, and that's saying something because this is a 40K tournament scene. So
yeah, it's a 40K based for sure. So Catalyst, they had a really good showing. So let's move to some of the. So we stopped by the Giga Robo guys.
Yeah, I don't have any pictures of those guys. I forgot about them. Yeah.
I know Rick posted a picture on the webpage of his game. But we talked with them shortly.
They're doing a Kickstarter soon.
Yes, for a kaiju game.
Well, it's kaiju added to Giga Robo, so.
Yeah, so you can crowdfund the kaiju that'll go in the Giga Robo.
I'm sure we'll be talking about that when it launches. I think it's going to launch in May or something like that. They said so.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that because I do like Giga Robo, even though I don't get to play it as much as I'd like to. The kaiju game itself, looked, I don't know, weirdish in a sense.
No, that was a completely different game. That wasn't the.
That wasn't the kaiju. I thought that was kaiju in that game.
No, that's just another game. I forget what it's called. It had a weird name. No, that wasn't the kaiju game. That was just another game that they were showing off there that they started.
Yeah, that game looked weird too, but that game was gonna have some mechs and had some kaiju in it.
Well, it was I don't know if it was suits or what, but yeah, there was monsters and stuff. But
yeah, he called them mechs when he was explaining.
Yeah, but it's small scale. It's like 28 millimeter scale, where Giga Robo is a lot bigger. This 70 millimeter scale. So that's why I'm excited to see the kaiju in it because they should be that big too. So
the weird thing about that other game though is. You said there was no rulers, no measuring, and no dice. So I was like,
there's no range because they just assume everything can hit because it's a small scale. So
yeah,
that's one way to do it.
So I think mostly you're just rolling for damage. I think that's the way they do it. It's kind of fun.
So,
but Giga Robo, is the mechs in it are awesome. They're big and chunky and fun.
Yeah, they're very anime. If you like that style.
Also, speaking of the same idea, is Monster Apocalypse. Private Pest had a very small booth, but they were in their booth was mostly about Monster Apocalypse. So
yeah, they
kind of redid that system, which is once again all different factions, but there's a lot of mechs versus kaiju in that game also. But Private Press definitely had a smaller showing than usual. That's for sure.
Yeah, very surprised.
Yeah.
What else did we see? Heavy duty gear was next to us.
Yeah, right next to Mantic booth was Heavy Gear. So obviously we were.
That game's been around a while now, but I've never touched it.
No, it's a Canadian company who makes Heavy Gear, and its shipping has always been crazy. And
I don't know why I've never touched it.
It's expensive. That's why shipping and the actual miniatures are usually pretty expensive. But
have you in the past seen them at Adepticon or Gen Con or anything?
No, I don't remember that. I think they go to I don't know. I probably would have bought some if they were at another one. So
I
no.
don't remember ever.
So
seeing
that
them,
maybe is
so.
why I've never touched them, because
Yeah.
I've never been able to have access to them.
But we did go crazy, Pat and I. We did buy the Battle in the Badlands Heavy Gear 2-player starter set, and I got extra tanks for it. But it's
And I got an extra mech.
yeah, we're gonna try it out, and we'll
Yeah.
let you know. The
It
scale
looks
is
like it's suits and mechs.
and it's really small scale. It's 1/44 scale, and yeah, so it's you're a Peace River guys, I think, and I was the other ones. I can't remember what the other guys' names are.
Yeah, we have to
Oh,
look at the
new
back
new
of it.
coal new coal was my guys.
Yeah,
You're the red guys. I'm the blue guys.
yeah, new coal.
Yeah,
NUCOAL. So
Yeah.
2 words.
yep. You're Peace River.
Like you're an energy company.
Yeah, probably.
And I'm the
sure,
guy stopping you from.
I'm the bad guys. I'm sure that.
I'm sure I'm stopping you from destroying the planet.
The neat thing about this 2-player set, it comes with the rulebook, and it's a mini version of it. Like I don't know how big it was. It's actually
Yeah, I mean it's basically the PDF shrunk down, so the font is very small.
Oh, gotcha.
So Pat got the full size rulebook, so I kept the small one. Show it to you right now. It's right here in my hands. Ugh, it's small, so
But
That's
it's
the
thick.
but yeah, it's neat. It's all color coordinated, so if you have to find a section, you can find it easily.
Oh,
But
it's kind
that's the book. 288 pages, I think. So we'll see.
Gotcha.
I don't know how much of the fluff, how much is rules. Like I say, I've never tried it. I heard it was originally based on Votoms, so I'd be curious if it still keeps some of that kind of feel.
Really,
Yeah,
I didn't hear it was based on both.
yeah. Like I guess that's what these guys kind of started the game as, like 20 years more than that. I think it's I don't know how old this game is.
I kind of see it, like the aesthetic that they had was
Yeah.
kind of in that vein.
And every mech has like wheels on their feet, so they kind of zip around a lot. So it's,
Yeah, they have wheelies so they can
Yeah.
skate down
So once again, like Votoms.
as they're heading down the mall. Whee!
So yeah, Heavy Gear. Once again, it was right next to the Mantic booth where Pat was working, and I hung out a lot. So we were kind of
I mean, we stared at it a little bit, and then we finally just took the dive. And
yeah, we talked. To
I
the
went
guy.
over there at the beginning. I said, "Just give me your 15-minute rundown."
Yeah.
And
So-
he did, and it was good enough for me to be curious to try.
Yeah, I
it,
was gonna
so.
play a demo, but it was always busy, so I never got a chance to play the demo. So
Mm.
we'll have to try it out.
Yeah. So what else did we see as far as mech things?
Steel
Cat-
Rift, I think.
Steel Rift is the new game by Ash Barker of what's his other game called? Do you remember, Brian? I have it on my shelf.
I don't remember where his other game is, but I know it was the Death Ray Designs guys are kind
Yeah,
of the ones.
his other
that
game
are...
was by Osprey. I can't remember what it's called. I have it on my shelf somewhere.
Oh, is it the mech one?
Yeah, from
The-
Osprey. So this
Oh,
is his
gosh.
new version. So he has Steel Rift, and then they had Burning Horizons, which I think is the expansion, but something was wrong with it with the printing, so they just threw it in when I bought the
Oh.
Steel Rift. So the real version's coming out soon. Unfortunately, that sucks for them. But they have a lot of pictures of miniatures. Once again, pretty small scale, like small scale, and they're all resin, either 3D printed or I assume they're 3D printed. They look 3D printed, and they look cool. There's vehicles and mechs. All this stuff looks neat. A little pricey. Like the actual books are thin. They're like real thin, but they're cheap. But the actual miniatures, it's miniature agnostic, so you can use whatever you want. But the ones that they were selling were not the cheapest. So here's a cool shot of the board that they were playing on, though, so it looked kind of fun. But yeah, I'll have to try that out. Once again, it's nice and short. I think the book is like 15 pages long. It's not very big, so that'll be fun to check out Steel Rift and see how that is. And once again, I'm sure we'll report back on the show if we liked it or not.
Yeah.
The other big one you're missing, Pat, is Cav. We
Oh, I was waiting for you to get to that last.
think it
or
is.
one of the.
Yeah, we're near the end here. Oh no, well, anyways, about Cav. They had a big, nice booth with a lot of cool
They had
miniatures.
some really good new mechs out. They put some new lines. We showed the Marauder.
The
There
Mastodon.
was
It's called the
the
Mastodon.
Mastodon. There was another one that was out that they sold out of that I was.
Yeah,
hoping to
they
pick
sold out of most of them. That tank was also an exclusive that I got. They had the new 3-up for the Starhawk 7, which was
up.
amazing.
Yes.
It looks so cool. I was
You got the picture of that up?
yeah, it's up right now. That thing is amazing.
Yeah.
And
How
then-
about the Conqueror B? Because
yeah,
it's a rock.
that's the classic one, the Conqueror B. They had a lot of cool miniatures showed off. good big set of every.
Yeah, they had a new Scorpion. Who did the Scorpion for? It might have been Terran.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was a little 4-legged mech.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of good
John
stuff.
John was there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because with the passing of Ed from Reaper, John is taking a lot of time off to help Reaper, so he won't be as many conventions.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing.
Which is too bad because I do like seeing John and talking with him when we were there.
Yeah,
we did have a good chat with him.
We did say, because didn't he say something else was coming out soon? We said we'd have him back on once that was.
I think there was going to be another Kickstarter or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they're releasing a. Was it a redo the rule booklet?
I don't remember. I know that there is a new PDF for the new rules is out. I know that much, but
yeah, it's coming. Something is coming out, and I think it was a rehash of the rule booklet, a redoing, so fixes everything, gets all the errata in and all that stuff. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
The other thing was Xenogenesis, the other big game that was kind of announced at the show.
Yeah, for any of you guys that are big GW fans, this is Andy Chambers' baby. Gav Thorpe is going to be working on all the fluff. I don't know the Xenogenesis is the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I witnessed it at Geek Nation Tour Industry Night, but I couldn't get the sense of the game itself.
They were doing demos. We never got around to checking.
Yeah, they were doing the thing. It was a lot of mechs on a lot of buildings, but I didn't see
a lot of powered armor and stuff like that. But
yeah, I know it's 6-sided based dice pools.
It is interesting the people making it, but like I saw it before I knew who was making it. They had a little booth in the hallway, so I checked it out and took a lot of pictures of it. And then I found out later who was involved. So that made it interesting. But I don't know. I'm not a 40K fan. I don't know if anybody realizes this, but I may have made it clear. But who knows?
I
Maybe
just know that
version.
Andy Chambers and Gav Thorpe switched hair.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't know what
Back
that
in
means,
the 90s, Andy used to have the long flowing hair.
Yeah.
And now he's kind of thinned, and Gav has got the 6-foot ponytail hanging behind his head.
6-foot ponytail. The other big thing was I took a lot of pictures of the Golden Demon. I'll just scan through as we talk about it. Once again, all 40K at the Golden Demon, but there was a lot of beautiful mechs. Like, there was an ice cream sundae mech, which I thought was hilarious. It's a knight with a big cherry on top, so strawberry shortcake. Those gribbly ones with tentacles for arms, but a lot of the freehand. There's some of these freehands are just crazy on these guys. Pat's favorite was the guy. It was I think it's a Tau. You decided jumping out of some water, and the pedestal looks like the water, so it's really cool effect. And it looks
because it looks like water's still shitting off it.
Yeah, it's water's dripping down the armor, as you can see in the video right now. Yeah, like I said, lots of beautiful free hands. And my favorite was another Tau, I think. The whole base was curved, and he was up on the top curve, and he was shooting through another guy at the bottom with I guess it's a railgun, as Pat yelled at me about. But
I didn't yell.
Well, you informed me, since I have no clue. But
sternly.
Yeah, there was some really nice stuff. A lot of, obviously in 40K there's a lot of cool mechs. So
the reason why I corrected you as a railgun is because I liked the effects to use as like a rail tracer.
Yeah, and just the blasting through with the explosions. Great stuff. I don't know who won. In my heart, that one won, but there's a lot of beautiful mechs. Yeah. Once again, you can see them all on the
despite being all GW.
Yes. Facebook page, you can see all these beautiful things. So check it out there.
And Mantic had, I know they had their Brush with Death painting contest, and if I recall, did Coach from Family of Gamers, he won with a Strider.
Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of that. I never took any pictures of it. But yeah, it was a cool Strider. He was on a bridge, kind of defending the bridge with his. It was Ajax Strider.
It was an Ajax, yeah.
So he's a big spear on one arm and a big shield on the other, and the way his stance was awesome. Coach had a hell of a time getting that arm. He in transport it got broken off, so he was trying to glue it back on. He had a hell of a time doing it, but he did it. Oh, do you have a picture of it, Brian?
I had a picture of the whole
Oh,
case
there
that I stole from somebody that took the picture.
Well,
I,
beauty
I
of
didn't.
that
I
is
actually I came up on Sunday and it was all empty. So I was just like, oh,
the beauty of this is I can just pull it right up now. So there it is.
Yeah.
That's the Coach's Strider right there on the bridge. And in the middle there, the miniatures were also Dead Zone miniatures. I love it because they mixed fantasy miniatures with sci-fi to make them like winter versions. It's such a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
I think that was Felix.
Yeah.
Felix Castro, really fun guy. And yeah, he's got a whole like GCPS and Maison line that's a winter themed by combining some Dead Zone and Kings of War kits.
And it's kind of funny. Both the winners they're both in snow themes because Coach's had snow on his bridge and stuff too, which is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else we missed? I think we covered everything.
Did we? Let's see. So, Giga, heavy duty.
Heavy gear.
Heavy gear.
Heavy duty.
Why do I keep saying heavy duty?
I don't know. He's a G.I. Joe character. I think he's cousins to Roadblock.
Heavy duty. I did it again. Heavy gear.
I thought you were joking. That's why.
Zeo Genesis.
Yep. Cav, Battletech.
Cav, Battletech.
Steel Rift.
Giga Robo.
Talked about Dead Zone.
I think we covered it all. Anything else you want to say about Adepticon other than it was fun time as always to see everybody in real's life?
Fun time, very tiring.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much left of me. I didn't get my pink slip like I thought I was going to.
Yeah, unfortunately he has to work them still, so can't have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
both Brian and Pat were working the whole time, where I was just kind of I'd help out, but I was mostly just walking around and enjoying myself.
Yeah.
So
Jack was there too. It was
yes, our
fun to
friend
hang out.
Jack from Dead Zone the podcast fame of yore, and also
Dragon's Tome.
Dragon's Tome.
Dragonstone. Currently Dragonstone on YouTube. Please come watch
And I
Dragonstone.
thought you were gonna cite that one first, but yeah.
It was just natural to say Dead Zone the podcast. We haven't been on Dead Zone the podcast for how many years now? So
Just a couple.
yeah, but so there you go.
All right. Well, then let's move on to ExFil and let's call it a day.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Let's exfil out of here.
All right, here we are at the ExFil. After talking about Adepticon, I'm even more tired as I was working it.
Yeah, it's just remembering it was tiring.
My PTSD kicked in and I got tired again. I needed a nap.
Yes.
Here and there.
No, Adepticon's great. If you guys get a chance, Adepticon started as a 40K event, has opened itself up to a lot of things. There's a lot of Star Wars, a lot of things going on, a lot of miniatures, and as you can tell, a lot more mechs have shown up.
Yeah, it's
especially with BattleTech. So,
And even ones that like we didn't talk about because I know like the Gundam skirmish is usually represented there. There's a big like mech game that happens.
Like in tournaments?
I didn't see that. Where was the Gundam?
You mean
at?
in
I didn't see
tournaments,
that.
not in the dealer hall, but
not in tournaments, but like in the foyer.
Oh, the
outside
open
of,
the open play.
open gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll see the Gundam skirmish guys playing,
Yeah.
demoing it out there. Yeah.
So there's a whole mess of games that we didn't even see, but we know are there.
I know there was a big Halo ship someone had scratch built, which was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet actually.
Yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff. Like I don't really play tournaments because I don't like to, but just to walk around and see what everything there was pretty amazing. So
Yeah.
I never had a chance to play any pickup games or anything, but still fun time.
I do want to try that grinder now that I've talked to my friend.
Yeah.
But that's an all day thing, and I need to not be working. So
That's the thing.
when I get fired, fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's why I said
I'll be
he's
all
never
over it.
being fired because he has too much plans of things he wants to do. So
But those that do want to come or are on the fence and are mech fans, definitely come check it out. There's something for you guys to do. The grind, like I said, the grinder sounds fun.
oh, there's so much stuff going
You
on.
could come meet us. in
Yes,
person.
definitely come see us. I mean, I don't know if that's how fun that is, but
Not at all. We gotta get some merch so we can be identified. Also, I forgot to bring like business cards or anything, so we had
I know Brian did. I had some.
mine.
I had mine.
I didn't have any. You gotta hand them out more then, guys.
Yeah. come meet John Walker of Cav. Very nice guy. If you
all
are
these,
a big fan of Cav.
and mostly like at the booths, it's almost like of all the small companies, it's the people who actually write the games and run the games. They're there, so you get to meet them. Like obviously, actually, even I was gonna say obviously Catalyst's not true, but it's true. Even the Catalyst guys are the guys who made the game, and like
anyone building or making mechs, maybe team up and have a booth together, show off your mechs,
or even like say open gaming. You can always put your game in there and you little sign, show it off to people. It's a good way to get your word of mouth out too.
Yeah,
I mean,
so, a lot of fun stuff happening, and it is the biggest miniature games convention in the States, I would think, like dedicated just to miniature games. So
yeah,
there is.
So
actually, I was going to say there's role playing, but I don't think there was any role playing this year. Usually there's a little area.
Some. It's very small.
I didn't see any. Like usually you see a little area.
I mean, this convention is now spanning 2 hotels.
Yeah,
because the historicals are at another hotel.
Yeah, we kicked those guys out because they don't have mechs in their games.
Yeah, they have tanks though.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. All right. Well then, I guess
smack the Mike. That's it. Get
out
of here. Get out of here.
I slapped my shields on my Star Trek control pad, mouse pad.
Oh, well, it made your mic reverberate.
That's because I hit the shields.
Like, share, subscribe. Join us on YouTube because in June the podcast feed will be going away. We're going only to YouTube, so we like the visual medium better. I think it works. Let us know if there's anything we should change. Anything, please comment below. Yeah. Comment, share, like, subscribe.
Your criticism is appreciated.
Don't just say like Pat's ugly or something. That's not fair.
Well, I can't change that. I'm sorry, guys.
Just like Brian.
It's not going to do it. I could maybe put a mask. I could maybe get a filter, but
that's right.
I can't do too much for it.
Yeah. So, and also join the Facebook group if you're on Facebook. We do have a Discord. We don't really use it that much, but it's always there's some people there. Like John Bear Ross usually puts his previews on the Discord. So if you want to inside on his new stuff coming out, he's always posting there. So that's fun. And I think that's about it. Oh, also Twitter. We're on Twitter.
Don't forget on the Twitters.
M Armor Radio, I believe it is on Twitter. As long as Twitter still exists, it seems fine. We always joke about it dying. It's not dying yet.
Yeah, it's just only worth about half as much as someone recently paid for it.
Yes. And that's fine. That guy doesn't care.
Yep. But
so
fun stuff. Good communities everywhere.
Exactly. So for Mobile Arm Radio, I have been Chopper.
I've been Brian.
I'm Rob.
We'll see you next month again.
Adieu.
Goodbye.
Bye.
This has been Mobile Armor Radio. Join our Facebook group by searching for Mobile Armor Radio. Find us on Twitter at @MArmorRadio. Join us on the first of every month for more Mecha discussion.